breads and whatever, and so we really wanted to bring that to the menu. So we do have one of our sandwiches. I would say is as Texan as we could get without putting brisket on it, right? So, and we're still considering that for our
There are
menu
so
too.
many different local places you could
Yeah.
reach out to. I guarantee they'll be okay with it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and so we do put in a little bit of a Texas toast vibe onto one of our sandwiches, where we go with a little bit more of the Italian garlicky kind of a taste, which a lot of people seem to appreciate here. We call it the I have to look up here on the menu. We are pretty new here. We call it the Twitchy Piggy Tex Melt. There we go.
Yes.
That's the Twitchy Piggy Tex Melt. And basically what you've got is ham and cheese, real nice artisan bread with a little bit of butter or margarine and garlic Parmesan topping that we put on the hot press. And I mean, it's a melty, gooey, tasty, delicious, and it goes really well with hot chocolate or with the Mexican hot chocolate that we serve on the menu. That's another thing. We do have Texas sweet tea.
Yeah, okay. You have to.
I will say we've toned down the sweet just a little.
Okay.
Not a lot, but a little. We found, a lot of the places here are extremely sweet. And,
Well, so
we
on
want
the
our
scale
customers to live to come back.
Fair enough. On the scale from Chicken Express or Chicken E, for those who know, and Chick-fil-A, where do you feel like you are? Because I think Chicken E is the extent of the sweetness.
Yeah, they're about as...
That's diabetes in a cup.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. If you drink it before the ice melts a little, if you
don't
let it
don't
tone
drink
just
it?
a little bit, it's good. No,
If you don't drink it before the ice melts,
I
don't
would
know
put
what's
us
wrong.
at about an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, nice. That's still good.
And so I would put it more in line. Not to steal from, but Texas has Dairy Queen menu in Texas is very different from anywhere else in the nation.
Yeah.
If you weren't aware, Texas is the only place Dairy Queen can have a different menu. And the sweet tea that's on their menu is not as sweet as Chicken Express.
That's true.
But, so that was an interesting story there. But
Yeah.
you should look that up sometime about the Dairy
I'll have to
Queen.
look that up.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I've been to one in maybe Atlanta, but I don't remember. I guess I didn't look too much.
Yeah, so
interesting.
we've been to. I've been all over the country. I was
Yeah.
in the military for 7 years, and
Thank you for
so
your
I've been all
service.
over the place. And Dairy Queen is the same everywhere but Texas.
Interesting.
Yep. So
Okay.
taco salads,
right. Yeah.
sweet tea, those aren't on the menu anywhere else.
Huh.
So we wanted to kind of hit that sweet spot
I see what you did.
in between that flavor that makes your face pucker, do that thing, and but we still wanted it to be Texas, right?
Yes.
So no lemon. We've considered the lemon, no lemon.
I'm not a lemon fan. I know a lot of
Straight
people
up
are. And
tea,
it's up to them.
sugar,
Yeah.
water.
There you go.
We do also offer some other sweetened teas, some other types of teas that are on our. Tiesta is the brand. It's not our brand, but
Okay.
we serve Tiesta branded teas in different flavors. Like there's a green tea, lean green, and there's a nutty flavored tea, and they're actually really cool looking. They're great colors, So when we started doing our testing internally at the house, mom and pop shop,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
We found that the colors look really great in these clear, plastic
People
cups.
do
right?
love the visual of it.
Yeah, like pink and orange and
Yeah.
yellow and really cool looking flavors.
Nice. Now, was food always kind of a consideration, or was that something you guys kind of added on later?
So we were looking for differentiators in coffee, and I'm a foodie. I'm a cook. Like the menu's mine for the most part, right? I love trying new things.
Yeah.
I love sharing the type of food that I grew up with, that I loved with other people around the country, right? I mean, no matter where I was, I'm the guy that has the barbecue, right? I'm the guy that has the potlucks. I'm the guy that has. We're just making dinner. Hey, have you eaten yet? Come on over. All the kids in the neighborhood know to come to our house because we're always cooking something, right?
Nice.
So I looked at the market. I looked at Texas, and I couldn't find a decent grilled cheese.
Oh.
Not a whole lot of them.
Challenge accepted.
Right. So we decided that we were going to have, like cheesy sandwiches on the menu.
Okay.
That was something we really wanted to do. We wanted to also bring in some of the stuff that we love from cafes and coffee shops, like butter croissants and bagels and such. And so we did bring those to the menu too. But we also brought in, again, a little bit of that kind of Texas Tejano kind of a culture with our what we call our breakfast crunchers, and they're basically a breakfast burrito without the ends closed up, grilled flat, and
nice.
it kind of seals in. The cheese kind of seals in everything, and they are crunchy.
Okay.
Right, so when you take a bite of it, it's got a little bit of a crunch to it.
I like that.
And then finally, the last little kind of an important one, the Nutty Waffle Cruncher. So I had mentioned that my wife Corey is German, right? So in Corey's culture in Germany, hazelnut and chocolate are like, it's like our peanut butter and jelly, right? I mean, they all do. Like, you can't go to a store where 4 out of 5 sections don't have some kind of a hazelnut spread or something, right? And so what we did was we took some waffles, just simple, I don't remember the brand, but Log House or something like that, you know, whatever. And we press those waffles on the sandwich press until they're nice and firm and kind of hot, right, and crispy. And then we put the Nutella and peanut butter, because what's not better with peanut butter?
Yeah.
Now, we warn people, if you have a nut allergy, please, goodness, don't eat this.
Obviously, yeah.
Don't eat this thing, right? And by the way, take as many napkins as you want, because when you get ready to eat it, it's going to go everywhere.
Do not eat it while you're driving.
But, you know, like so we kind of got that German waffle cookie kind of a thing, but it's not quite as hard, right? And it's really made to be kind of like a breakfast edition, you know, something like that. So that's, I mean, I'd say of the unique things on our menu, I've never seen anything like that anywhere.
There you go.
And, you know, in addition, the last bits, we've got things for the kids. We've got the Mexican Cokes and Guaritos.
Yeah.
We've got the Capri Suns.
Oh, okay.
And the bags of chips. You know, these are things that we wanted to make sure that the kids could have, because kids don't eat anything. Or they eat everything.
That's what I've heard,
right?
yeah.
You know, so you got to have a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Just basic grilled cheese, right?
Who doesn't love that?
And a quesadilla.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is almost the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then having those, you know, Capri Suns.
Yeah.
Kids seem to like them. We don't sell a ton of them, but it's for, you know, families come in. They'll always drink a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
Always.
Or they come in the morning, give it to the kids, put it in their lunch, they're good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you have I'm looking at the window right now, and you have fall flavors. How often do you guys normally kind of change out, obviously with the seasons, but where do the inspirations for the drinks come from?
They come from our baristas.
Nice.
So
as they should.
So we do something very special here at Twitch. Well, I'll try to make this short.
It's a podcast. You can make it as long as you want.
So I am involved in an off-road community and an off-road navigational challenge series called the Gambler 500.
Okay.
Right? And so the Gambler 500 is basically, the idea is you take a cheap, impractical, or just insane vehicle, right? So it can be anything from like a 1989 Toyota Corolla to a monster truck. I mean, literally, like the vehicles. We've had Pinzgauers, we've had Volvo wagons, we've had Jeeps, we've had, you know, Cherokees, Grand Cherokees, every Cherokee, right? I mean, any kind of a vehicle, right? The idea is that it's either like really cheap, right, or just like when they say impractical. I mean, like, there's people running around with like vet carts and stuff like that, right? There's people, and then like search and rescue kind of support vehicles, right? So I run an 80 series Land Cruiser, and I help everybody, you know. And so the idea is that you take these vehicles and you do a 500-mile off-road navigational challenge where you're trying to get to different waypoints, and while you're doing it, you know, because we know that off-roaders tear up the environment, and you know what? While we're doing it, we're out there picking up trash.
That's
right?
awesome.
It's actually been the world's largest trash cleanup.
Wow.
Right? With like, I mean, when they, I don't know the exact numbers. The guy that runs it all would be mad at me, but but we're talking about like containers full of trash.
Whoa.
You know, like, and the main event is in Oregon, but I run events here with some friends here in Texas as well, and in Oklahoma. And so the idea is that it's a gamble, right? So the gamble here at Twitch is you get our gambler drink. It costs you 500 pennies. It's 500 milliliters, which roughly equates to 16 ounce, right? And the barista gets to do what they want. Now you get to tell them, hey, I'm allergic to nuts. I can't have regular milk. Whatever. I mean, whatever your requests are is fine. But in the end, they get to make their drink, right? And so, like I'm looking over here on the wall, and we have tiramisu,
Ooh.
and butterbeer. These are a couple favorites here in this particular, in this location. And the baristas they have the ability to make what they want.
Yeah.
If the customer hates it, it doesn't happen often, but if they just don't like it, we just make them another one.
Right.
Do something different. And so that's really the idea. A lot of these drinks that we serve on our menu are industry standards,
Of
right?
course.
The mocha, the latte, the macchiato, the
chai tea,
the chai tea.
Americano,
Yeah, but we do also have some specials. So we've got the Pancho's Dirty Horchata,
which I'm drinking.
You're enjoying right
Delicious.
now. How's
Yeah,
that?
this is fantastic.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
My friend Pancho he's actually my buddy in this Gambler 500, so we
Oh,
named that
okay.
after him. The Savior is one that was named for a friend of ours who's very devout, and it's got some. A little bit sweet and a little bit innocent, right? and the Sea Bomb that's for our friend Celeste, and that's caramel, chocolate, and coconut,
Ooh.
right? So it's got the 3 C's. And then we do still serve an old-fashioned malted milkshake. That's not something that you see very often.
No, not at all. I feel like you need a counter to sit up at to drink that.
Yeah, and then we've got a great selection of fruit smoothies that are surprisingly popular. We get excellent feedback on those. Everybody seems to like those, and so that's the menu.
That's good.
For the most part, we try to make everything taste good.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. Not to take anything away from any of the industry standard, the multi-billion-dollar companies that are out there doing this. They have a market that they appeal to,
Obviously.
and it's good. They did a lot for the industry, but a lot of people think that their coffee doesn't necessarily taste as good as others, and so we wanted to give them an alternative that was not quite as bitter, not quite as sour, not quite as sweet, not quite as not so much aftertaste.
Yeah.
And so we were really selective, and it means that there's a cost to it.
Of course.
We were pretty proud though that our menu is pretty close to that industry standard, considering we're tiny. We're just a little 2-store shop, right?
Yeah.
So,
which is still more than most people. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I've always heard the business standard is you have to be better than, less than, or different than, and you're being different than, so that's a good thing.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying for sure.
Now, obviously, as a fan of the coffee industry, and then now being in the coffee industry, what do you feel like you've learned the most when it comes to the coffee industry?
Industry standards don't mean anything to a small business. So there's always a lot more expense than you expect.
True.
The customers that you think you will serve are not always the customers that you do serve.
Oh.
Right? You can do all the market research you want, but ultimately the people that come to your store, the people that want to come to your store, they're not always the people you expect. And so we've seen a really culturally, politically, ideologically diverse set of people come into this particular store, especially.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get. It's a total crapshoot, right? Somebody could walk in the door that's one way, and then somebody walks in the door that's completely different, and you know what they love? They love coffee. That's what brings them together. And so we feel really blessed to be in this location, especially, even though the other location is doing great.
Yep.
But this location especially, we get such a mixed group of people that come in here.
That's good.
The conversations are spectacular.
Yeah.
Right. You get to learn about. It's just shocking. Sometimes the stories that people have when they come in here, it's like, you really did that.
Yeah, right.
And we're getting in this store. We're getting all ages.
There you go.
We're getting. What seem to be all income levels. South Fort Worth, it's got a real diverse population.
Really
so we're
does.
really happy to be here. It's turning out really good.
That's awesome. Now, we kind of talked about before we were recording that your second location, Alvarado, there's so much population down there, and there's so much money, and I feel like there's not as much attention to that area. Definitely when it comes to coffee, and then in my world and my thought process, breweries and distilleries, or however you want to put it down there. But how do you feel like that location is really working? You guys, I think you're only really a month or so in, so you kind of have somewhat of an idea. But how do you think that one is compared to when you?
Well, we had a huge blow up when we launched.
Yeah.
much more significant than Fort Worth. And honestly, there's been a little bit of a